preference thing. When we open it up, a lot of people will start here and slide up till they hit the breast cage. I don't like that. I go from there down, and the reason being is by going up, you're going against the grain of the hide and the fur, which tends to peel off more fur, and you get the fur inside and stuff, and hair gets all inside. But if you're going with the grain down, you get less hair in that area, which is a good thing. So I'm going to take my straight blade knife first, and you're going to feel right here, basically where the rib cage comes down, and there's that hollow out where the stomach starts, and that hollow cavity. Just going to poke a hole in, just like that, pretty simple. Now I'm going to grab, I'm going to show you what the use of this is. There's two different uses. One, if you notice, if I were to show you how this works, this thing just kind of rides along. It doesn't have a sharp edge on it. So I can take where that hole is that I cut and just push this blade down. And what the purpose of it does is this rides on top of the organs inside so it doesn't cut them. And it just allows you to kind of just like a, just go right down, and it opens it right up without cutting the internal organs. You'll probably find that the insides are kind of already been damaged because it was hit by a car. But hunting, you may encounter where your bullet has damaged the insides, and it really doesn't matter at that point because you've already opened them up. But if you hit it up in the shoulder where you're supposed to air it, the nasty stuff here isn't flowing inside, so you want to get that out without getting it all over the inside. The other part of this is I can turn it around and use that hook and just basically, like a zipper, right down. And so either way, either one works, and it's just a great tool.
Yeah. Cleaning
it is the problem. So as you can see, there's definitely some stuff in here that's. I didn't bring my mask with me. So initially, and the other and I won't say mistake, but a lot of the people do is they'll, even in the field, they'll cut this all the way up in the field so they can have easier access to the lungs and the heart when they're up here. Another personal preference thing, I like keeping that closed up, just for the fact that dragging it out, you're going to go through dirt and mud, and
keeps the dirt out.
It keeps stuff out of there that's going to spoil the meat. So the little that I can keep this opened up, the better it is for me getting debris and dirt in this. Now when we get down to this area here, whether it's a male or a female, we're going to kind of want to work around, I'll call it the transmission, because it's the same for either one. And we're going to basically just cut around. Yeah, so you got hit pretty good. And it's, like I said, if that was a male, you'd be doing the same thing, or a female, you'd be going around, same thing. An adult female would probably have a milk sac there, possibly early in the season, so you want to get that, you don't want that on the meat. Now this, you're going to be able to see or not, I don't know, but I'm just going to cut this part right out of here. If anybody's queasy, you might want to, if everybody can see, I'll move this around so that, now this part, as you can see, the anus back here, right underneath the tail, it's not too hard to see. What you're going to take is a knife blade, and you want to cut a circle right around that. Basically what you're doing is releasing any connective tissue that's holding that together. And I'm going to cut this right up. So we're just going to disconnect basically the skin from this. And what that does is, you'll see in a minute, kind of releases that so that when I get in here, so at this point, that's pretty much all the cutting that I'm going to do. I'm not going to go up here because, and you'll see this acts a little differently after it's been thawed out and frozen, but a fresh deer, this stuff is fresh and it's going to roll right out. Okay, so I like to typically do it in the woods. I like to find a place on a side hill or a bank so that I let gravity help me in this process, so it's not laying where I want, but fortunately here I want people to see. So I'm going to tip this down on its side and basically reach in, and now it's not just loose in there, so it's going to fall, it'll kind of roll out, but there's still connective tissue that's going to hold that in there. This one got hit pretty good. So basically, now this is the part you also want to be careful of. Anytime you're reaching in there where you can't see your knife blade and you're kind of guessing where it is, be careful you don't cut yourself.
I've done that a couple times.
Happens every time.
Yep.
Yeah, bones. And if you're a bull hunter, head in there that if you shot it and broke off, you start feeling there, you get cut with the broadhead. Yeah, this is just a diaphragm right there. That's what holds it kind of together. And then we're going to pull it right out. Okay? And that's the majority of the intestines, the stomach, the stuff that really, if you get those fluids in the meat, could begin to start. But I'll warn people. A lot of people are so intimidated by, oh, I don't want to cut the bladder. I don't want to poke the stomach because I don't want to get that in there. Don't panic if you cut something you think you shouldn't have. It's not a big deal. Just get it out. By the time you get it home, you're going to be able to wipe it down, as Rick's going to show you. It's not going to damage the meat. Now, that's not it, because inside here, that's only basically from the diaphragm back. Now, we still have the heart and lungs up in here. So if we can just pull it that now, like I said, if you reach up in there, you'll be able to feel a lot of times, depending on just loosen everything up so it's ready to go, and then all we got to do now is reach up inside, and basically the only thing holding it now is the windpipe, the esophagus that runs right up the throat and down into the lungs. So I reach up with my knife blade and I can feel it. Cut it off, and here's the heart, and here's the lungs. There's a small deer, so picture a bigger deer. Everything here is just going to be third, double the size, depending on the size. That's pretty much that part. Now,
Tom, did you cut out the diaphragm, or did you cut?
I cut the diaphragm out. It's just connective tissue. If you were to look in here, you'd kind of see what's remaining of it right here. See, I can. It just goes down both sides of to separate the heart and lungs from the rest of the organs. Now here is where, and because it's a small deer, it might be a little difficult, but where I made that slice back here, if you notice, I just pulled that, and it kind of pulls right through from that side in. Find it.
You got a hold of it, it's going up.
Here it comes right out. So, and that's an important thing to get out. A lot of people, I see at check stations, they got everything out, but they never got this part out of there, and that is probably the most damaging thing. It's got that's the part you really want to get out as soon as you can. And like I said, if you puncture the bladder for some reason, it happens. You didn't go into the, just get it out of there, get it back to the truck. When you get there, you can take the towels and wipe it down and get rid of it.
So around the anus, you just cut?
Just cut a circle right around all the skin.
How far around?
Just enough to, you'll see the hole, you just want to cut around the hole, donut hole.
And then from that, you sliced up just the hide? Is that what you did?
Yep. Yep. It basically releases everything so you can just pull it through. Any questions? All right, let's see if we can get this inside.